Hello, I'm Lorenzo Wolf. I'm 57 years old. I've lived in the city of Santa Barbara since 1970. I lost my last job when I was 60 years old and I wasn't able to get another one. My last job, I worked at a recycle center out in Goleta. The emotions?
Yeah.
I was in pretty bad emotional shape. I had just lost my uncle whom I lived with, and then a couple months later I lost my job. I got sick. So I was not in very good emotion or physical shape at that time. What do you mean? No, I collected unemployment for 6 months while I was looking for another job. But no. I'm a veteran, but since I'm not disabled, I've got nothing from the veterans. I've got to the point now that I've just disassociated myself completely from the Veterans Administration. And that's proved right. The recent scandal they've had. It's a very poor organization. The bureaucrats are not military. And I've seen the way that they treated other people. And I refuse to buy into any of that. I was self-employed most of my life. And I also worked for the federal government and also worked for the state for 5 years, who weren't in the Social Security program. So I do get Social Security retirement, but it's not near enough to live. I get $200 a month. I'm usually here 4 or 5 days a week.
Sitting on this bench?
Yes, very nice. A lot of people here know me from some of the places I worked in public, like I worked at the showgrounds, and I was a maintenance man in one of our hotels. I also worked in a tattoo shop, a tire shop, a gas station. I worked for many years. I just didn't make a lot of money. So a lot of the locals know me from the past when I was still working, and I'm not just some drunk that just came to town, you know. I have some very good friends who, I've known for 20, 30 years. Like with myself, most people think that, a lot of people think that homeless are either drug abusers, alcohol abusers, or mentally ill. I'm none of that. I don't drink, I don't use drugs. I'm sane, I'm also a Christian, and people find that very hard to accept. I've been here since 1970. I was in the military. I've been all over the country. I've been overseas. And as far as I can see, this is the nicest place to be. I'm not a person who puts not doing well on location or other people. I love it here. My favorite place in Santa Barbara? Well, that would be hard to say. I like Warm Mesa Beach. I like Rocky Nook Park. I like the Museum of Art. A lot of places. Feeling of insecurity, not knowing what's going to happen next. Actually, all I do is I trust in the Lord, and I live the best way I can, and treat people as well as I can. That with the way the economy is and the way elderly people are perceived in this country and minorities, it could happen to you.
Do you think if you lived in a different country, maybe in Europe, it will be different for you?
If I lived in Sweden, which is a socialized country, it would probably be different for me, yes.
Yeah.
Just because you're poor doesn't mean you're bad. Just because you're poor doesn't mean you've got that way because you drink or use drugs. A lot of us are underemployed. We work our whole lives, and then the job market doesn't want us anymore. And it's not a self-inflicted thing being poor.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.